Good morning one and all. This is Jennifer Sagar from the Department of English, and today we are going to talk about literary criticism, and the main topic is about Plato. So we will have just a glance on what we are going to talk on this session, and the first one is what is literary criticism, and the next one is an important glance on the kinds of criticism. The next one is an introduction to Plato and his views on art, to Plato and his views on poetry, and what a poetry should function, about that he will be talking about, and on his comments on drama. So let's see what is literary criticism. It is a kind of study, evaluation, interpretation of a particular work. So in the olden times, people used to criticize a particular work on the classicist point of view, but in the modern times they get influenced by the literary theories. So these are the kinds of important kinds of criticism. The first one is judicial criticism. It means that the critics under this kind of thing, the critic will only see on the rules on what the people should see a piece of work. And the next one is historical and biographical criticism. In this kind of criticism, the critic will see the point of view of the historical point of view where the poet lived or the author lived, and biographical criticism, the critic will see the biographical elements of the person who is writing a piece of work and the atmosphere which he lived. For example, if we criticize Shakespeare's Hamlet, in this kind of criticism, the critic will see that era in which he lived, that is the Elizabethan age. So the critic will see that point of view in which world he lived. So that is about this kind of criticism. The next is sociological criticism. In this, the person will see how a piece of work is influencing the society. So according to this, whether a piece of work is good for the people who are reading it, or is it bad. So that is about this kind of criticism. Next is psychological criticism. It is about the character's mental state which he has been in this story. For example, Shakespeare's Hamlet. In this criticism, the person will see that in what kind of mental state was Hamlet, and in which thing was he going through. Through this, the person can understand while writing this piece of work what kind of mental state was in Shakespeare while he was writing this piece of work. And the next one is practical criticism. Practical criticism means it is all dependent on the person who is reading the book or watching a piece of work. Means there is no external thing added in this thing, like no historical criticism, no psychological. What the person is thinking while he is or she is reading this piece of work, it totally depends on what the person is thinking while reading this thing. It totally depends on the reader response theory. So this was all about the kinds of criticism. We will go in the main part, that is about Plato. Plato was born in 427 and died and lived till 348 BC. He was a philosopher who lived in ancient Athens, ancient Greece. He was a philosopher and he was a tutor for Aristotle, and he didn't write any critical works on this particular field, that is our field, and he used to give lectures on some kind of topics, and his people used to write it, and those things got conserved and those things are being told by me to you. So we will see his views on art. So we should know that he wrote 2 lectures. He had 2 lectures. One is the Republic and the second one is Symposium. So in the work The Republic, he talks about the function of art and his views on art. So while talking about Plato's point of view on art, we should keep one thing in mind, that he was a philosopher, he wasn't an artist, he wasn't related to any artwork, he was just a philosopher. So according to, if we see philosophy, a person who is a philosopher, he will only think about spiritual things and what is logic. So according to him, in his theory of ideas, he says that this world is a copy. It is not a real world. This world is a copy, which things we are seeing. This earth is a copy, but the reality is what is in our mind, what is our idea, the spiritual world. So he says that this world is copy to the spiritual world. So what a artist does, he sees, he get influence from this copy, which is the world, and he recopies this world to his art, means painting, songs, poetry. These all things are copy of a copy. So he says that things which are already a copy of the spiritual world or the real world, from that copy a person is repeating the same thing in his piece of art. So this kind of thing cannot influence in a positive way to any person. To according to him, he is totally against, he is totally negative in the point of view of art. He says that art will never give a positive response to any person who is indulging in it. So his attack on poetry. Poetry, if we see in the first point, poetry is twice taken up from reality and makes men believe in the imperfection. As I told you before, poetry is a kind of art. So it is also removed twice taken from the reality, means this world is a copy, and then from that copy itself it is another copy. So this kind of art will never be good for a person who is living in an ideal world. So if we see in the next point, go back. So if we see in the next point, the poet writes a poem not because he is thinking for a long time. If you see, if a poet is getting influenced or if he is getting inspired, he will have a spontaneous thought and then only he will write that poetry. He won't do any research, anything. Whatever comes into his mind, that will be portrayed in his piece of writing. So this kind of knowledge will never benefit any person. If a thing is true, if a thing is logical, that should be researched in a very good way, then only it should be portrayed in front of the audience. So according to him, poetry can never be beneficial to a person. And if you see the next point, poetry affects the emotion and not the reason. He says that poetry can only raise emotions into people, and it won't make people think logically. So we will go to the next point. Poetry is non-moral in character. It treats both virtue and vice. So in the eyes of a poet and a poetry, nothing is good or bad. Everything is good in a point of view of the poet. So what Plato says, that a person, an ideal person, should only learn which is good, and he should be kept away from the bad things which are being portrayed in poetry. So next we will see, now we saw that what is the point of view of Plato in the field of art and poetry. So now he gives a solution like how a poetry should be. In the first point he says that a poetry shouldn't be away from morals, means a poetry should have pleasure also. In the same way, a poetry should have morals also. So he says that if a poet wants to give something to the society, contribute something to the society, he should act like a teacher. Means a teacher, what he does, he or she tries to give good thoughts to the students. So in the same way, if a poet is writing a poetry, he should keep in mind what kind of knowledge will the people learn when they are reading such kind of poetry. So next we will go on his comments on drama. You should keep one thing in mind. In the time of Plato, there was, if you see now, poetry was a form of writing. So in here he says that drama is a part of poetry. So he says that, and the main difference between poetry and drama is, poetry is written and it is read, but the difference in drama is drama is staged. So here also, if you see drama also, it is kind of an art which is a copy. So here he says that in order to enact a drama, a director will add many comic elements, very comic elements, and which is not logical. So he says that such kind of elements, which is music, comic elements, and all these things will divert a person from his original duty which is to be done in the society. And the next one he says that the actor who is acting in drama he won't have his original character when he is doing a drama, when he is acting a character. Means if you see an example of, if you see a Joker, right, if you know about the actor, he was so much into in that character that he committed suicide. If you have watched Joker, the one who acted the film, he committed suicide because he was not able to get out of that character. So sometimes such negative characters can influence our original sense, and we cannot go out of that. So this is a kind of fake, he will be in a fake world, he will be very fake and he won't be into his real self. So he is having a negative comment on drama. So he says that in his time, drama, tragedy used to be the prominent kind of drama in his time. So he says that what kind of pleasure can a tragedy give to the audience that they are enjoying it so much. So he said that he had a question that tragedy can never bring pleasure to anyone, because it is a kind of sad thing happening to a particular person. So how can that thing give pleasure to the society? So as of this was my this was the point of view of Plato on art, poetry and drama. So if we see in conclusion, he is not against poetry or anything, he is only focusing on what kind of moral should an art give. So for him, if an art is important, if art is good, that should add morals also. So this is all about today's session. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.